Listen to me. Some of you are sitting around right now talking about, oh, one day I'll start the business. One day I'll go back to school. One day I'll write that book. One day I'll get serious about my health. But here's the problem. One day he's killing you. You've been saying it for months, years, maybe decades, and that one day never comes. You're waiting for perfect condition. You're waiting for everything to be lined up just right. The money in the bank, the connections in place, the door's already open. But let me tell you something. Perfect conditions are a lie. There will never be a perfect time. The stars are never going to align just for you. The sun's not going to stop in the sky and say, this is your moment. That's not how life works. Life is messy. It's unpredictable. It throws curveballs when you least expect them. And if you're waiting for it to be smooth, you'll still be standing in the same place 5 years from now, watching other people live the dream you keep talking. I remember when I was homeless, sleeping in abandoned buildings, eating out of trash cans. You think the conditions were perfect for me to start chasing my dream? No, but I started anyway. I didn't have a car, didn't have money, didn't have a support system, but I had a vision. And that vision was enough to get me moving. See, the difference between people who make it and people who don't isn't talent. It's timing. And the timing is always now. Stop telling yourself you'll start when you have more resources. The truth is, if you won't start with what you have now, you won't start when you have more. That's a mindset issue, not a resource issue. People say, I'm waiting for the right opportunity. No, opportunities are created, not found. You make them by showing up every single day and doing the work when no one's clapping, when no one's watching, when no one believes in you yet. I know you want to feel ready, but you will never feel ready. You don't build confidence first and then take the leap. You take the leap and the confidence grows on the way down. You don't wait until you know everything. You start with what you know and learn the rest on the journey. Stop thinking you need the whole staircase before you take the first step. Some of you are in a holding pattern, just circling the runway of life. You've been taxiing for years, never taking off because you're waiting for the weather to clear. But here's the reality. Planes were built to fly through turbulence, not avoid it forever. And you were built to handle storms. You were built to handle uncertainty. You were built to take the hits and keep moving. But you'll never know your strength if you keep waiting for a risk-free path. Let me make this real for you. Jump every day you delay, someone else is out there getting better, getting faster, getting stronger. They're not more talented than you. They just started. They took the little they had and made it work. They took the shot even when they weren't sure it would land. And while you're still perfecting the plan, they're out there executing. I don't care if you're 16 or 60, your moment is now. You can't go back and start over, but you can start now and create a different ending. Waiting's a decision, and it's the wrong one. The world moves too fast for you to be standing still. Opportunities don't wait for the hesitant. They pass them by and go to the bold. So here's the challenge. Start with what's in your hands right now. Maybe you've only got $50. Maybe you've only got one connection. Maybe you've only got an idea and a little bit of passion. That's enough to start. It's not about how much you have. It's about how badly you want it. When your hunger is strong enough, you stop making excuses and start making moves. I want you to stop hiding behind preparation. Stop using "I'm getting ready" as an excuse to not take action. Preparation without execution is procrastination in disguise. Yes, plan. Yes, learn. But move while you do it. The door won't open if you don't knock, and you can't knock if you're standing in the driveway talking about how nice the door looks. Your future doesn't belong to the person you could be. It belongs to the person you choose to be today. So make the choice. Step into the storm. Take the shot. Write the first page. Make the first call. Send the first email. Show up even when it's ugly, even when it's hard, even when you're scared. Because momentum doesn't come from thinking. It comes from moving. Stop waiting for perfect condition. They don't exist. All you have is now. And if you want your moment, you've got to take it. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Nothing changes until you take ownership. That's the starting line. I don't care what your dream is. I don't care what your goals are. I don't care how bad your circumstances have been. You can't move forward until you stop pointing thumbs. It's not their fault. It's not a system. It's not because of my boss, my parents, my city. As long as you believe somebody else was holding you back, you already lost. When you take ownership, you say, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. Not up to my environment, not up to luck, not up to who's going to give me a handout. Up to me. That means if I fail, it's my fault. If I succeed, it's my responsibility. And that's a powerful place to be, because the moment you take ownership, you take control. You're no longer waiting for permission. You're no longer hoping someone opens a door. You're building your own doors. Some of you are stuck because you keep giving away your power. You keep blaming your past, your upbringing, your boss, your friends. You keep telling yourself, I'd be further if it wasn't for them. No, you'd be further if it wasn't for you waiting on more. Ownership means you stop outsourcing your life to other people. Nobody's coming to rescue you. The only person who can save you is you. I had to learn this the hard way. When I was homeless, I could have stayed bitter. I could say, it's my father's fault. It's my family's fault. It's the city's fault. But blaming them didn't feed me. Blaming them didn't give me a bed. Blaming them didn't give me a bed. Blaming them didn't put a book in my hand. The moment my life started to change was the moment I said, Eric, you got yourself here, and you're going to get yourself out. Now hear me. Ownership is not about shame. It's about power. It's not about beating yourself up for what you've done wrong. It's about acknowledging where you are so you can take the steering wheel. You can't change what you won't take responsibility for. If your finances are a mess, own it. If your relationships are broken, own it. If your health is failing, own it. Once you own it, you can fix it. Here's the truth. You can't lead your life like a passenger. Passengers don't control the speed, the direction, or the destination. Drivers do. And when you take ownership, you're saying, I'm the driver now. That means no more excuses. No more excuse. No more stop win. No more, it's not fair. The road's not supposed to be fair. It's supposed to be yours. I know some of you have been through hell. I know you faced setbacks you didn't ask for. But guess what? That's life. You don't get to choose all the cards you're dealt, but you do get to choose how you play them. Ownership means you stop folding every time the hand isn't perfect. You learn to play with what you got, and you play to win. Ownership also means you stop waiting for motivation to come and knock on your door. Motivation isn't coming to find you. You've got to create it. You've got to wake yourself up in the morning. You've got to hold yourself accountable when no one's watching. Some of you only move when someone's checking on you. That's not ownership. That's dependency. You can't depend on a cheerleader to get you to the finish line. Think about it. The most successful people in the world aren't waiting for someone to tell them to get up and grind. They're self-starting. They know that if they don't work, they don't eat. If they don't work, they don't eat. If they don't push, they don't progress. And that's the mindset you gotta have. And let me be real with you. Ownership is uncomfortable because the second you take ownership, you lose the ability to hide behind excuses. You can't say it's their fault anymore. You can't play the victim. And for some of you, the victim role has been comfortable because it comes with sympathy. But sympathy doesn't change your bank account. Sympathy doesn't get you in shape. Sympathy doesn't fulfill your purpose. Taking ownership means you stop talking about what you can't control and start attacking what you can. You can't control who hurt you, but you can control how you heal. You can't control the economy, but you can control how you hustle. You can't control the weather, but you can control whether or not you show up to work in the rain. Here's what I want you to understand. The starting line is not when things get easier. The starting line is when you say, it's on me. That's the first day of the rest of your life. That's the moment you stop being a passenger and start being a driver. That's the moment you stop waiting for your big break and start building your big break. You want to create your moment? Start by owning everything. The good, the bad, the ugly. Own your decisions. Own your habits. Own your mindset. Own your result. When you take ownership, you take back the power. And once you got the power, nobody, and I mean nobody, can stop you. So today, make the decision. Stop outsourcing your life. Everybody wants to be seen. Everybody wants their name in lights. Everybody wants the claps, the followers. But let me tell you something. You don't get the recognition before the grind. You don't get the applause before the work. The problem with too many people is they want the credit before they put in the commitment. They want the championship ring without playing a single quarter. Success doesn't work like that. Recognition is not the down payment. It's the receipt you get after you've put in the work. The hours, the sweat, the late nights, the sacrifices nobody claps for. That's the currency you pay before your moment comes. Some of you are frustrated right now because you feel invisible. You're showing up, you're putting in effort, but nobody's saying your name. Nobody's giving you props. You feel like nobody notices you. Listen to me, that's exactly where you're supposed to be right now. This is the season where you're planting seeds, not harvesting fruit. This is the season where your roots are growing underground. And let me remind you, roots grow in darkness, not in the spotlight. I spent years speaking to small groups in classrooms and gyms in places where half the seats were empty, no cameras, no stage light, no crowd chanting my name. Just me, a microphone, and maybe 5 people listening. And I gave them the same fire. I give thousands today. Why? Because I wasn't doing it for applause. I was doing it for mastery. I was building my craft in private so when the public stage came, I'd be ready. Some of you want to skip the dark room and jump straight into the spotlight. But the dark room is where greatness develops. It's where your discipline gets tested. It's where you find out whether you're doing this for likes or for legacy. If you need applause to keep going, you'll never last. Because the truth is, there will be days, even at the top, when nobody's clapping. And if recognition is your fuel, you're going to run out of gas. You've got to learn to clap for yourself. You've got to learn to say, that rep I just did, that project I just finished, that was fire. Not because somebody posted it on social media, but because you know the effort you put in. If you can't celebrate your grind in the dark, you'll never survive the pressure of the light. Hear me. People will ignore you until they can't. They will overlook you until your work becomes undeniable. They will doubt you until the proof is so heavy they can't lift it off the table. That's the moment recognition comes. But it's always after the grind. Always. And when it does come, here's the key. You won't be surprised because you've been preparing for it the whole time. The work you've done in silence would have built the confidence, the skill, the mindset to actually handle the recognition. Without the grind, the recognition would crush you. Think about it. If you gave a gold medal to somebody who's never trained, they wouldn't know what to do with it. They wouldn't respect it. They wouldn't understand the weight of what they've been given. But when you bled for it, sweated for it, sacrificed for it, you value it, you respect it, and that respect keeps you from losing it. That's why I'm telling you, stop worrying about who's watching you. Stop obsessing over whether you're getting credit right now. Put your head down and do the work. Wake up before the world wakes up. Study when your friends are partying. Practice when nobody's calling your name. Because one day they will call your name, but only if you put in the reps when they weren't. This isn't about being humble just for humility's sake. It's about being strategic. The more work you do before the recognition, the less the recognition can distract you when it comes. Too many people get a little bit of applause and then they stop working. They think they've arrived. No, the grind never stops. Recognition is just a checkpoint, not the finish line. I need you to remember, champions are made in the off season. Not when the cameras are rolling, but when nobody cared. Every overnight success you see, that's just the first time you heard about them. They've been working in silence for years. So the next time you're grinding and nobody notices, smile. You're building something strong, something real, something that doesn't need validation to survive. And when the moment comes, and it will, the recognition will just be confirmation of what you already knew. You've been ready. So keep working, keep showing up, keep stacking bricks, even when nobody's looking. Because your time in the dark, that's not wasted. That's where you're becoming unstoppable. Life is not fair. I'm going to say that again because some of you are still waiting for the day it will be life is not fair. But here's the good news. Fairness is not a requirement for greatness. The champions, the game changers, the people who make history, they don't win because everything goes their way. They win because they know how to flip the script when it doesn't. They don't run from obstacles. They use them as fuel. Some of you think your problems are stopping you, but your problems are not walls. They're weights. And weights don't block you, they build you. Every obstacle is resistance training for your mind, your discipline, your resilience. Without resistance, you don't grow. You don't get stronger lifting feathers, you get stronger lifting heavy things. And life will put heavy things in your path to see what you're made of. When I was homeless, I could have looked at that as the end of my story. I could have said, this is my obstacle, I can't get past it. But I decided to flip it. I decided my pain would be my platform. My struggle became my strength. That's why I can speak with authority today, because I've been through it. If I had never faced that obstacle, I wouldn't have the voice I have now. Here's the truth. The thing you think is holding you back is actually the thing that's going to set you apart. The job you didn't get, it might be the push you needed to start your own business, the relationship that broke your heart. That might be the space you needed to grow into the person you're meant to be. The failure you think ruined you, that might be the exact lesson that keeps you from failing bigger down the road. It's all about perspective. The same storm that sinks one ship can carry another ship to shore. It depends on how you navigate. Some people see an obstacle and immediately say, it's over. Winners see an obstacle and say, this is my opening. When everybody else is running away from the problem, they run toward it. Because problems are opportunities in disguise. Let me make it plain. Every time life knocks you down, you have two choices. You can stay down, or you can look around from that new angle and see something you couldn't see before. That setback might just be a setup for something bigger. But you won't know unless you get up and start moving again. I've seen too many people give up right before the breakthrough. They hit an obstacle and think it's a sign they should quit. But sometimes the obstacle is the test. Life is asking you, do you really want it? Are you willing to work for it when it's hard? Will you push through when it's uncomfortable? Because if the answer is no, you're not ready for the next level. Think about a diamond. You know how it's made. Pressure, heat, time. The same conditions that destroy other things are the exact conditions that produce something priceless. And you're the same way. The obstacles you're facing right now are shaping you into something that can't be broken. But here's the key. You can just survive the obstacle. You have to learn from it. You got to add, oh, what is this trying to teach me? How can I use this? Maybe it's teaching you patience. Maybe it's teaching you discipline. Maybe it's showing you who's really in your corner. Every challenge comes with a lesson, but you have to be willing to look for it. And hear me, the bigger your calling, the bigger your obstacles. You don't face giant problems because you're weak. You face them because you're strong enough to handle them. That's why you can't compare your journey to someone else's. They might have fewer obstacles, but not climbing as high. The mountain you're on comes with its own storms, but the view from the top is worth every step. So the next time you face a setback, I want you to flip the question. Instead of saying, oh, why me? Start saying, why not me? Why shouldn't I be the one to overcome this? Why shouldn't I be the one to turn this into a success story? Why shouldn't I be the example that it can be done? Your obstacles are not there to destroy you. They're there to develop you. And when you start treating them like opportunity, you take back the power. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and start being the architect of your destiny. So here's my challenge. The next time life throws you something hard, don't just react, respond with intention. Find the opportunity inside the obstacle. Look for the open door in the locked room. See the setup in the setback. And when you do that enough times, you'll realize something powerful. You don't just face obstacles anymore. You create opportunities from them. Some of you are too comfortable. Yeah, I said it. You got dreams in your head, but your life is padded like a couch. You got vision, but no urgency. You keep saying you want it, but your environment says otherwise. And here's the truth. Comfort is killing your ambition. You can't create your moment if you keep living in a safety zone. Pressure changes everything. Pressure is what takes coal and turns it into a diamond. Pressure is what turns a lazy I'll do it later into I've got to get this done now. But most people run from pressure instead of running into it. You're avoiding the very thing that's going to make you great. Listen to me. There's a reason you work harder right before a deadline. There's a reason your energy is different when your back is against the wall. When you've got no choice but to perform, something wakes up inside you. And if you can create that pressure for yourself before the wall hits, you'll operate on a whole different level. Some of you have been waiting for life to push you, but life isn't going to do it. You've got to push yourself. That means setting deadlines that scare you. That means committing publicly so you can't back out. That means getting in rooms where you're the least experienced, the least skilled, the least prepared, because that pressure will force you to grow faster than you ever would in comfort. I remember when I started speaking, I wasn't ready for big stages, but I said yes anyway. I committed to things that scared me because I knew the pressure would force me to rise. And every time I walked away sharper, stronger, more confident. I didn't wait until I was ready. I made myself ready by stepping into situations that demanded my best. You've got to understand, pressure reveals potential. Without pressure, you'll never know how far you can go. You'll never tap into that extra gear you didn't know you had. And the sad thing is, most people never see that side of themselves because they live their whole lives avoiding situations that stretch them. Stop playing small because it's comfortable. Stop surrounding yourself with people who clap for you doing the bare minimum. Don't get around people who make you feel like you got to step up. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You need to be somewhere that forces you to level up just to keep up. And don't just wait for pressure to happen. Naturally, create it intentionally. If you want to get in shape, sign up for the race before you feel ready. If you want to launch a business, announce the date before you got all the details figured out. If you want to break a bad habit, put something on the line so failure calls you. Give yourself stakes. Give yourself stakes. Because without stakes, there's no urgency. Pressure also makes you resourceful. When you got to figure it out or fail, you start thinking differently. You start seeing solutions you couldn't see before. You start pushing past limits you thought were fixed. That's why pressure is a gift. It forces you to meet the version of yourself that's been sleeping. Let me be real with you. You will never create your moment by staying comfortable. You will never discover your greatness if you avoid situations where you might fail. Failure isn't the enemy. Comfort is. Comfort keeps you average. Pressure pulls you into greatness. Some of you think, I don't want to add pressure to my life. I've already got enough stress. But stress and pressure are not the same thing. Stress breaks you down. Pressure builds you up. Stress is when you're overwhelmed with things that don't move you forward. Pressure is when you focus on one thing so intensely that you can't afford to fail. That's why athletes train under simulated game pressure. That's why soldiers run drills in extreme conditions. They know that if they can handle the pressure in practice, they can handle it in the real thing. You got to start doing the same with your dreams. Train under pressure so the big moment feels like just another week. So here's the challenge. Stop waiting for pressure. Stop waiting for pressure to find you. Create it. Put yourself in situations that force you to give your best. Commit before you're ready. Push past what's comfortable. Raise your standards so high that you can't meet them without growth. Because when you start living like that, something powerful happens. You stop waiting for your moment and you start making it. You stop hoping for an opportunity and you start creating opportunities so big they can't be ignored. You become the kind of person who thrives under pressure, who doesn't break when things get hard, who performs when the stakes are highest. And when that recognition finally comes, when that big moment finally arrives, you'll look back and realize it wasn't luck. It wasn't timing. It wasn't timing. It was all those days you created the pressure yourself. It was all those moments you put yourself on the line.